Recuérdame. Do, 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 do. Recuérdame. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, sorry. How rude. Just listen to my music. Did you spot what I was listening to? Maybe you don't know that one. It's from a film. Any ideas which one? Doesn't matter. Who cares? I think it's from Coco. But more interestingly, what was I singing? Recuérdame. Is that another language? Yes, it is. Do you know what it means? No worries if you don't. If you do, you're amazing. If you don't, I'm going to tell you anyway. Remember me. Remember me. Do, 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 do. It's a great song, actually. I really like it. It's on my Disney playlist. Anyway, the point being, what is your point, Claire? Get on with it. We are remembering today. We're thinking about remembering. So, to get our remembering juices flowing, I've got a remembering quiz for you to see how well you can remember our Meals with Jesus series so far. Now, if this is your first Kids Church, welcome to Kids Church. You probably think I'm a lunatic. Stick with us. But if this is your first Kids Church, don't worry. Just maybe see if you can guess some of the answers to this. If you've been following our Meals with Jesus series through with us, then you have a chance now to check your memory and see how well you can remember all the different stories that we've been thinking about. So, question number 1. Jesus met 2 different tax collectors and had meals with them in our stories. Can you remember their names? There were 2 of them. Question number 2. Which one of them climbed a tree so that he could see Jesus better? Question number 3. Jesus went to the house of 2 sisters. What were their names? And for a bonus point, which sister huffed and puffed in the kitchen? I often get them muddled up, so that is quite tricky. Question, I want to say 5. Jesus had a massive picnic for 5,000 people or thereabouts. What did he give them? What food was it? And finally, yes. When Jesus went to the house of a Pharisee for some dinner, a woman turned up who hadn't been invited. And she did something to show Jesus how grateful she was to him. Can you remember what she did? Right, I'm going to give you the answers now. So, are you ready? If I can remember the order. Question number 1. The tax collectors were Levi and Zacchaeus. And if you remember, it was Zacchaeus who climbed a tree because he was very short and he wanted to see Jesus. The sisters, I think this is question number 3, were called Mary and Martha. And for your bonus point, it was Martha who huffed and puffed whilst Mary was listening to Jesus, sitting at his feet. When Jesus had a gigantic picnic, he fed 5,000 people with loaves and fishes. Do you remember that? It was a miracle. Because there was even stuff left over. So that was cool. That was a great story, wasn't it? And finally, the woman who was grateful to Jesus broke a really expensive jar of perfume over his feet and then washed his feet with her hair and her tears. We thought that was quite a strange way to show that she was grateful to him, but we felt like it was appropriately extravagant because of the great and extravagant love that Jesus has shown for us. So we've had a great time looking at various meals with Jesus over the last few weeks, and today we are going to think about the last meal that Jesus had with his disciples, the Last Supper. And it is actually the last in our series on Meals with Jesus. don't be too sad, because next week we're going to start a new series through Lent, and I'll tell you more about that at the end. But for now, we're thinking about the Last Supper, when Jesus asked his disciples to do some remembering. But before I tell you the story, we're going to play a quick remembering game. So, are you ready? What I'd like you to do is to sit yourselves in a circle with your gang, and each one of you needs to come up with an action to remember you by. So it might be this. Remember me. Remember me. It might be this. Remember me. That's my pig face. Could be remember me. Okay? So some ridiculous action or whatever you want, really. And the idea is that you go around the circle. So first person starts, remember me. And then the next person has to do your action, remember me. And then their action, remember me. And then you pass it on. And then the third person has to do, and then whatever theirs is. And you go round. And obviously, it gets harder. And what you want to do is keep going around the circle so that you're adding more things. So by the time it comes back to your first person, you need to add something else in. So you then might add whatever. I'm going to leave it out to you. And that is your game. Come back to me when you have played it. Right, I have got myself a little meal here, special meal of some bread and some juice/wine. And you might like to go and get yourself something to eat and drink, because we're going to be thinking now about a special meal that Jesus had when he told his disciples to remember him and to remember what he was going to do. Now, we've noticed, haven't we, over the last few weeks, that Jesus had some meals with some rather surprising people. Jesus welcomed anyone and everyone to sit and eat with him. The sinners, the tax collectors, all the people that nobody else wanted to sit and eat with were welcome to Jesus' table. And in today's story, we hear that anyone and everyone is welcome into Jesus' family. And he tells us how he's going to make that happen, and gives us a way to remember it. So, Jesus was having a special meal with his disciples because it was the Passover meal. Now, the Passover meal, if you think about the way that we have special meals at Christmas and Easter, because it's like a special feast, it was a bit like that. They'd come together, a group of friends, to celebrate and remember what God had done for them at the Passover, when God had rescued his people out of slavery in Egypt, when a lamb had died instead of God's people, and then they had been allowed to go free and to be rescued from slavery. So that's what they're doing. That's what they've come together to celebrate and to remember. But Jesus says something quite surprising at that meal. Now, he often does and says some quite surprising things, doesn't he? He told his disciples that he was going to have to suffer and die so that there could be an even better rescue. He was going to be like the lamb, only better. Because this time, the people that were rescued were going to live forever. And then Jesus gave them a new meal of bread and wine to remember him and what he was going to do. So he took the bread and he broke it and he gave it to his friends. And he said, "This bread is my body, and I'm giving it for you. Do this to remember me." And then he shared it out. And then he took a cup of wine. And he said, "This cup shows the new agreement between God and his people. And it begins with my blood, which is poured out for you." So this meal and these two things show the disciples what Jesus is about to do when he goes to the cross. But then he gives them an instruction. He says, do this to remember me. So keep doing this. Keep breaking bread. Keep sharing wine to remember what I'm going to do for you and what that means. So we do this, don't we? We keep sharing bread and wine. We do it most Sundays when we gather in church. We break bread and we share wine to remember what Jesus does for us, that he gives us a better rescue, one that is forever. And Jesus tells us that one day we will sit and have a meal with him if we are trusting in this bread and this wine, the body and the blood, not this bread and this wine, but what Jesus has done for us on the cross. He offers us an invitation to anyone and everyone to come and have a meal with him, not just once, but forever, in a place where we will be safe and loved forever. That is the good news of this communion that we share together. That is the good news of the cross. That is the good news that we begin to remember as we come into this new season of Lent. That Jesus is the one, the Lamb, who offers us life forever with him, a meal with him forever, if we trust in him. So I'd like to invite you now, as you're sitting around your table, perhaps to just pause for a moment. And I don't know if you've got something to eat and drink, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but just to pause and to use these things as a way of remembering what Jesus has done for you, for anyone and everyone who wants to sit and eat with him. This is the bit where we are going to dig a little bit deeper into our story and think about what it means for us. So you may want to grab yourself a nice warm cosy drink so you can linger, chat about this. It's freezing in my house today, so I've gone for a nice cup of tea. First of all, I'm going to ask you some remembering questions. How well can you remember the story? So, question number 1. Who was Jesus having a meal with? Question number 2. What were they celebrating or remembering at the meal? What event? You may want to pause the video here and tell the whole story. You can do that. It's fine. That'd be amazing. Question 3. What did they eat? Question 4. What did they drink? Question 5. What did those things help them to remember? Jesus says, remember me. This is my. What were they? What was he telling them to remember? Now, those are your how well can you remember the story questions. But let's dig a little bit deeper. Let's think about what the story might mean for us. So, here's one to think about. Why does it matter that we remember what Jesus has done? Why is that important? And if you were having a meal with Jesus, what would you want to say to him? What would you say to him about this story? So I'm going to give you a chance now to just pause the video again and to talk about that, but also maybe to pray. Because we can talk to Jesus. That's the great thing, isn't it? It doesn't have to be at our table for us to talk to him. So we can tell him what we want to say to him about this particular story and about how we feel about what he has done for us and about that incredible invitation that he's given to anyone and everyone that we can be part of his family. So why don't you pause the video and spend some time just chatting about those things and praying, and then join us again for a song. Okay, we're going to sing you a song. We'd love you to join in with it. We have sung this song at St John's, but not for a while. So hopefully it'll be in there somewhere. Hopefully you'll be able to remember it. Emily and
I can't
Kit,
remember it.
we're struggling to remember the actions a little bit here. So we're going to give it a go. I've brought some backing dancers and they're going to be helping me with it. We're signing the cross. So the song is called I Sign Your Cross. So this is the main action that you need to concentrate on. But follow these two if in doubt. Get up on your platform. Okay. I sign your cross over me, a reminder that I am free. I hold your cross in my heart, for no longer are we apart. Oh, Jesus, you are with me. Holy Spirit, you are here in every moment and forever. I sign your cross over me. You walked the path. You walked the path to the cross, where you suffered, your life was lost. And there you lay in the grave, till our Father raised you again. Oh, Jesus, you are with me. Holy Spirit, you are here in every moment and forever. I sign your cross over me. I sign your cross over me. Thank you for the cross, where you gave your life for me. Thank you for the cross. Thank you for the cross, where you died to set me free. Jesus, I worship you. Oh, Jesus, you are with me. Holy Spirit, you are here in every moment and forever. I sign your cross over me. I sign your cross over me. I sign your cross over me. Right, I'm going to challenge myself to see how many times I can flip this pancake in a row. You ready? One. Woo! That was rubbish. I'm going to do another go. I'm normally better than that. Right, let's try again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Woo! 4. Can you beat 4? That's my challenge. Obviously, Tuesday's pancake day. So hope you've got your pancake toppings ready. I've got one I made earlier actually. So now this is an example. Right, here he is. Let's call him Pete. I'm just gonna give you a little demo of some of the excitement that's going to be going on in this house on Pancake Day. So, right, Pete has got Pete's got a beard. Hold on. I'll put Pete there. While I'm just decorating Pete's face, I'll tell you about Lent. So obviously on Tuesday, we like to eat pancakes. That's great fun, isn't it? That's the beginning of Lent. Then, from next Sunday, we're going to start a new Kids Church series on kingdom living. So we're going to be looking at what it means to be a disciple of Jesus. Different things that Jesus tells us about being one of his disciples. That's going to be, I think that's going to be Pete's mouth, actually. Or maybe let's give him a nose like that. We just need some eyes. So join us for that. And we'll also just be thinking, oh, hang on a minute. I'm just rummaging around for raisins. Here we are. We're also going to be thinking about just Lent in general and what that's all about. So do join us for that. But in the meantime, can I suggest that on Tuesday, you, number one, eat a lot of pancakes. Number two, see if you can beat my record of 4 flips. And number three, see if you can come up with a fabulous pancake friend. Love that. Enjoy. Have a wonderful week. And we'll see you then. Bye.